Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Renu Kataria with the Midday News. The headlines. India is in a unique position to pioneer a new model of economic development of low carbon emission, says Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. Government prohibits the use of remdesivir in children with coronavirus infection. India crosses a major landmark with the administration of over 24 crore COVID vaccine doses. 151,000 COVID patients recover in the last 24 hours. National recovery rate further improves to 94.77%. More than 94,000 new COVID cases recorded nationwide, the lowest in over 2 months. Centre advises states and union territories to obtain permission of the Health Ministry before sharing the e-win data and analytics related to vaccine stocks and temperature. UPSC announces that the interview for Civil Services Main Examination 2020 will resume on the 2nd of August. President and Prime Minister expressed grief over the demise of eminent Bengali filmmaker Buddhadev Dasgupta and boxer Dingo Singh. In Maharashtra, 15 teams of the National Disaster Response Force deployed to deal with any situation due to heavy rains. And in the French Open tennis, 13-time champion Rafael Nadal to face top-seeded Novak Djokovic in the men's singles semi-final. As many states are relaxing lockdown norms, we advise our listeners not to lower their guard as the COVID-19 pandemic remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow the 4 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene, and get vaccinated. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said that India is in a unique position today to pioneer a new model of economic development of low carbon emission and inclusive development. Dr. Harshvardhan virtually addressed the first meeting of the World Health Organization's High-Level Coalition on Health and Energy Platform of Action yesterday. The meeting was attended by representatives of the World Bank, United Nations Development Programme, United Nations Human Rights Council, International Renewable Energy Agency, among others. The Union Health Minister said the world is still reeling under an unprecedented threat of COVID-19. He said this challenge has pushed the governments and citizens to take extraordinary steps to protect human lives and reduce morbidity across the globe. He said COVID-19 pandemic has also underlined the need to ensure synergy across sectors. He added that it needs to be reflected in our policies to ensure an effective and sustainable service delivery. The government has strictly forbidden the use of remdesivir in children infected with coronavirus. Also, the children under the age of 5 are no longer required to wear masks. These recommendations have been made in the guidelines issued by the Union Government. The Director General of Health Services, DGHS of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, has issued comprehensive guidelines for management of COVID-19 in children below 18 years. In the guidelines, an emergency use authorization drug, remdesivir, has not been recommended in children. DGHS has said that there is a lack of sufficient safety and efficacy data about the use of remdesivir in children below 18 years of age. Lab investigations are not required for the children in asymptomatic and mild cases. These investigations are needed only in moderate and severe cases. Rational use of high-resolution CT scan of chest has been recommended by the DGHS. Routine high-resolution CT imaging of chest in COVID-19 patient is not recommended. Use of high-resolution CT scan has been advised in the moderate and severe cases in children in the event of continuous worsening of condition. DGHS is advised to avoid self-medication of steroids. It is recommended that use of steroids is harmful in asymptomatic and mild cases of COVID-19. It has been suggested that steroids must be used at the right time in right dose under strict supervision in hospitalized, moderately severe and critically ill COVID-19 cases in children.
India has crossed a major landmark with administration of more than 24 crore COVID vaccine doses to the beneficiaries so far. The Union Health Ministry has informed that more than 33,79,000 vaccine doses were given in the country in the last 24 hours. Out of this, nearly 30 lakh beneficiaries were vaccinated with the first dose, whereas around 3 lakh beneficiaries received their second dose of the vaccine. The cumulative figure of vaccine doses administered under the largest vaccination drive in the country now stands at over 24 crore 27 lakh. The Health Ministry confirmed that so far over 3 crore 42 lakh doses of the vaccine have been given to people in the age group of 18 to 44 years. Nearly 19 lakh beneficiaries in this age group received their first jabs in the last 24 hours, whereas around 86,000 others were given their second dose. The ministry said more than 10 lakh beneficiaries in the age group of 18 to 44 years have already received their first dose of COVID vaccine in the states of Bihar, Delhi, Gujarat, Haryana, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. So far, nearly 19 crore 53 lakh people in the country have received their first dose of the COVID vaccine, whereas nearly 4 crore 75 lakh have been fully vaccinated with both the required doses. The Union Health Ministry said vaccination is an integral pillar of the comprehensive strategy of the government for containment and management of the pandemic, along with test, track, treat and COVID-appropriate behavior. The liberalized and accelerated Phase 3 strategy of COVID-19 vaccination has come into force from 1st of last month. The nation continues to march strongly on its path of COVID recovery with the gradual decrease in total number of active cases. For the third consecutive day today, the number of new daily cases remained below the 1 lakh figure. In the past 24 hours, over 1,51,000 COVID patients recovered from the disease, whereas in the same time span, 94,052 fresh cases were recorded nationwide. The number of fresh cases recorded is lowest in over 2 months' time span. With this, the recovery rate in the country has further improved to 94.77%. The cumulative share of active COVID cases in the country continues to witness consistent decline and comprises nearly 4% of the total reported cases. The Health Ministry has informed that currently nearly 11,67,000 people are reported to be suffering from the viral disease and are either hospitalized or are under home isolation. The daily positivity rate also remained below 5% and much below the 10% mark for the 17th consecutive day. The ministry added that so far over 2 crore 76 lakh people have recovered from the COVID-19 infection in the country. The Health Ministry has informed that 6,148 COVID-related deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the cumulative toll to 3,59,676.
The Union Health Ministry's timely intervention has helped in mitigating the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The ministry has taken several measures to communicate correct and verified information to the citizens. In an attempt to resolve several queries related to the COVID vaccination program, the centre used all possible mediums to reach out to the people and dispel all related myths. Our correspondent takes a look at such frequently asked questions about the period of vaccination after the recovery from coronavirus disease.
COVID vaccine is an effective tool in fight against the coronavirus. It provides immunity from this disease. Government guidelines clearly state that a person can take a COVID vaccine after 3 months from the day of recovery from coronavirus. According to health experts, this will improve the effect of the vaccine. Also, the vaccine will help the body to develop a strong immunity against the virus. Health experts have asserted that vaccines are effective even against the changing nature of the virus. Experts also refuted the baseless rumors that our immune system become weak and people die after taking vaccines. Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
Dr. V.K. Paul, Member Health and Niti Aayog and Chairman of the National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID-19, has said that until 70 to 80% people are not vaccinated, they have to take utmost care to deal with COVID-19. He said this while taking part in a special discussion on the Corona Jagrukta series of All India Radio last night.
हमें जब तक हमारे देश में वैक्सीन 70-80% व्यक्तियों को नहीं लग जाता, तब तक हमें चौकन्ना रहना है, क्योंकि ये वायरस अभी यहीं घूम रहा है। और आपने अपना वैक्सीन लगाने के बाद भी मास्क पहनना है, 2 गज की दूरी बनानी है, भीड़ में नहीं जाना है, भीड़ को पैदा नहीं करना है, पार्टियां नहीं करनी, चाहे वो बाहर है चाहे अंदर है। अंदर है तो खिड़कियां खोल के रखिए, बड़ा समूह अंदर मत रखिए। अंदर हैं, लोग हैं, बाहर हैं, आप मास्क पहनिए। ये हमें अभी पूरे जज्बे के साथ, पूरे जोश और सच्चाई के साथ अपनाना है।
Dr. Paul also said that there is less need for child vaccination at present.
कुछ देशों ने 12 साल के जो बच्चे हैं, एडोलेसेंट हैं, उनको शुरू कर दिया है, लेकिन वो तब किया है जब बहुत बड़े तौर पे उन्होंने 18 से उम्र के व्यक्ति हैं उनको कवर कर दिया है। इसकी वजह समझा सकता हूँ। वजह ये है कि जब बच्चों में संक्रमण होता है तो वो लगभग हर बच्चे में संक्रमण की सिवेरिटी जो है, संकट जो है वो कम होती है। बच्चों को पता भी नहीं होता कि उनको इन्फेक्शन होता है तो मामूली सा जुकाम, वो कभी सीरियस होकर अस्पताल ले जाना पड़े, ये होता है लेकिन बहुत कम होता है।
In Jharkhand, the existing lockdown has been further extended for a period of 1 week till June 17th, following certain relaxations in Unlock 2 guidelines issued by the state government. The existing Health Safety Week will be observed in the state till June 17th, along with the complete lockdown during the weekend from evening 4 p.m. on June 12th to morning 6 a.m. on June 14th, falling in between.
Odisha has made a mark in supplying medical oxygen to other states during the second wave of the pandemic, laying virtual foundation stones for 7 liquid medical oxygen plants in 7 districts of the state yesterday. Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik said that Odisha has helped save many lives by continuous supply of medical oxygen to as many as 17 oxygen deficit states. More from our Odisha correspondent.
Odisha has already supplied more than 28,000 metric tons of life-saving medical oxygen through dedicated corridors to many other states and union territories. On the other hand, its own medical oxygen consumption too has come down to about 61 metric tons per day. The state has been reporting fresh infection of about 6,000 cases daily for the last couple of days, indicating a test positivity rate below 9%. Meanwhile, the state government has decided to set up RT-PCR test laboratories in all the 30 districts of the state, with 17 of these already equipped with such labs to make the battle against the virus further localized. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yadurappa will hold a high-level meeting this evening with ministers and senior officials on the prevailing COVID-19 situation in the state. The meeting is also likely to discuss the unlock measures when the lockdown period ends on June 14th. More from our correspondent.
Karnataka Health and Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar had said that unlock process can begin if the positivity rate drops to less than 5% and daily cases come down to 5,000. The state had reported 10,909 new cases with a positivity rate of 6.68% yesterday. The experts feel that the new cases will come down gradually. Hence, Health Minister said that the restrictions will be eased in a staggered manner and the Chief Minister will take a decision on the modalities of unlock soon. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin reviewed the COVID situation in the state along with top officials of the government. The meeting led by Stalin is being held at the State Secretariat. State Health Minister Ma Subramaniam is present at the meeting. More from our correspondent.
Today's meeting will also discuss the present relaxations of the lockdown in the state. Though relaxations in 11 districts have been curtailed due to the severity of COVID situation, by and large the total number of COVID patients have decreased below 20,000 fresh cases per day. Coimbatore is still having a maximum of more than 2,000 cases each day. Chennai and Erode are also witnessing more than 1,000 cases each day. The recovery rate has been improving at a faster pace even as more than 180,000 samples are being tested through RT-PCR on a single day. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
The Union Government has advised the states and union territories to obtain permission of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry before sharing the e-win data and analytics related to vaccine stocks and temperature. This step will prevent misuse of data by various agencies. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said that the Union Government is committed to prevent any misuse of this sensitive e-win data for unauthorized commercial purposes. The Union Health Ministry has written a letter to the states and union territories to prevent use of sensitive data. The Union Health Ministry has said the crucial information related to specific vaccine usage trends for multiple vaccines used in Universal Immunization Program (UIP) and temperature-related data can be used to manipulate the market and associate research. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry has been using the eWin electronic platform for all vaccines used under UIP for more than 6 years. Sharing of sensitive eWin data on stocks, storage and temperature requires the prior consent of the Union Health Ministry. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India is in a unique position to pioneer new model of economic development of low carbon emissions, says Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. Government prohibits the use of remdesivir in children with coronavirus infection. India crosses a major landmark with the administration of over 24 crore COVID vaccine doses. Over 1,51,000 COVID patients recover in the last 24 hours. National recovery rate further improves to 94.77%. More than 94,000 new COVID cases recorded nationwide, the lowest in over 2 months. Centre advises states and union territories to obtain permission of the Health Ministry before sharing the eWin data and analytics related to vaccine stocks and temperature. UPSC announces that the interview for Civil Services Main Examination 2020 will resume on the 2nd of August. President and Prime Minister express grief over demise of eminent Bengali filmmaker Buddhadev Dasgupta and boxer Dinko Singh. In Maharashtra, 15 teams of National Disaster Response Force deployed to deal with any situation due to heavy rains. And in French Open tennis, 13-time champion Rafael Nadal to face top-seeded Novak Djokovic in men's singles semi-final. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे. Welcome back. The Centre has been disseminating awareness of 6 national-level helpline numbers created for the benefit of the citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. National Helpline of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare for COVID-related queries is 1075. The Child Helpline number of Ministry of Women and Child Development is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is 14567. The helpline number of National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. Ayush COVID-19 Counseling Helpline number 14443 and MyGov WhatsApp help desk number is 9013151515.
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, approved increase in the minimum support price for all mandated Kharif crops for marketing season 2021-22. Briefing reporters in New Delhi after the cabinet meeting yesterday, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said government has increased the MSP of Kharif crops to ensure remunerative prices to the growers for their produce. The expected returns to farmers over their cost of production are estimated to be highest in case of Bajra, which is 85%, followed by Urad 65% and Tur 62%.
2018 में प्रधानमंत्री जी ने निर्णय किया और तब से लेकर अब तक लगातार फसल के अनुसार यह एमएसपी समय पर लागत पर 50% मुनाफा जोड़कर बढ़ाई जाती है और उस पर किसान का जब फसल आ जाए तो खरीद की व्यवस्था भी की जा सके. जैसा कि अभी हाल ही में हम सब लोग उपार्जन के दौर से गुजर रहे हैं. जून 21 तक पिछले वर्ष इसी अवधि में 372.23 LMT खरीद हुई थी और उसकी तुलना में अगर आज देखेंगे तो 416.34 LMT से अधिक यह खरीद गेहूं की हो गई और इसका लाभ 45.67 लाख किसानों को मिला है।
The minister said the highest absolute increase in MSP over the previous year has been recommended for sesamum, which is 452 rupees per quintal, followed by tur and urad, 300 rupees per quintal each. In case of groundnut, there has been an increase of 275 rupees per quintal, and for Niger seed, an increase of 235 rupees per quintal in comparison to last year.
MSP है और MSP आगे भी रहेगी। लगातार रबी और खरीफ के MSP घोषित की जा रही है। सरकार गेहूं और धान का उपार्जन FCI के माध्यम से कर रही है। दलहन और तिलहन का जो उपार्जन है वो भारत सरकार अपनी अन्य एजेंसियों के माध्यम से कर रही है। इसलिए इसमें किसी को भी कहीं भ्रम रखने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। MSP चल रही है, MSP बढ़ रही है, MSP पर खरीद भी बढ़ रही है और मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं किसानों को कि किसान बंधु अच्छी मेहनत कर रहे हैं, उसके परिणाम स्वरूप उत्पादकता भी बढ़ रही है और अगर टोटल में हम देखेंगे तो कुल मिला के लागत पर 62% की वृद्धि इस बार की जो निर्णय है उनमें हो रही है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the Union Cabinet approved an increase in the minimum support price MSP for Kharif crops in the interest of the farmers. He said the increase in the MSP of many crops will increase the income of farmers and will also improve the standard of living.
The Union government has said that about 1,20,00,000 farmers have already benefited from the current procurement operations with MSP value of over 1,54,000 crore rupees. About 46 lakh farmers have benefited from the current wheat procurement during current Rabi marketing season. Consumer Affairs Ministry said a quantity of over 418 lakh tons of wheat has been procured against the last year corresponding purchase of 373 lakh tons. It said 12.22% more wheat has been procured in comparison to corresponding period last year. The ministry said procurement of wheat is continuing smoothly in the procuring states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. Paddy procurement in the Kharif season 2020-21 is continuing smoothly in the procuring states with purchase of over 816 lakh tons of paddy against the last year corresponding purchase of 736 lakh tons. The Union Public Service Commission UPSC has notified that the interview for Civil Services Main Examination 2020 will resume in August too. The interview had begun in April but stopped because of unprecedented progress within the variety of folks contaminated with COVID-19 countrywide. The Commission mentioned that the e-summon letters of personality test interviews of the candidates will be made available shortly. It can be downloaded from the Commission's website www.upsc.gov.in and www.upsconline.in. No request for change in the date and time of the personality test interview intimated to the candidates will ordinarily be entertained. In view of the COVID, the Commission had postponed a number of exams. The Civil Services Preliminary Examination 2021, which was scheduled to be held on June 27th, has been postponed to October.
The CBI has registered a fresh FIR against former Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Nabam Tuki. The agency filed FIR for alleged nepotism and corruption related to a contract for construction of a Kendriya Vidyalaya school boundary wall in Salt Lake area of Kolkata. The CBI has alleged that officials of the Public Works Department, Arunachal Pradesh, awarded the tender to firms controlled by family members of Tuki, who was then Minister of PWD in the state. Mr. Tuki was the Chief Minister of the state from 2011 to 2016. Renowned Bengali filmmaker Buddhadev Dasgupta passed away today morning. He was also a celebrated poet and had won several national awards for his contribution to Bengali cinema. He is most known for his films like Bagh Bahadur, Tahader Kotha, Charachor and Uttara.
हमारे भाग में न काम जुटा है न रहने का ठिकाना और ना ही कभी जुटेगा मालिक। साल भर तो पिसते ही रहते हैं, बस ये एक महीना तो काम नहीं करते। और ये बात तो हम तुमको पहले बता दिए थे ना मालिक।
कहाँ का लाश है रे? काम नहीं करेगा, काम नहीं करेगा तो क्या करेगा? चोरी, डकैती।
President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the demise of Buddhadev Dasgupta. In a tweet today, the President said Buddhadev Dasgupta has enriched our arts and culture with his world-renowned films and poetry. He said India has lost an extraordinary artist. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that his diverse works struck a chord with all sections of society. Prime Minister said he was also an eminent thinker and poet. President Ramnath Kovind has expressed grief over the demise of Dingo Singh. In a tweet today, the President said Dingo Singh was a great boxer and an exceptional sportsperson. He said Mr. Singh's life was brief, but it will inspire the youths, especially from Manipur, for a long time. Padma Shri awardee Dingo Singh has won the gold medal in the 1998 Asian Games. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in a condolence message, said Dingo Singh was a sporting superstar. Mr. Modi said he was an outstanding boxer who earned several laurels and also contributed to furthering the popularity of boxing.
With 43 days to go for Tokyo Olympic Games, All India Radio today will talk about India's prominent table tennis star Manika Batra.
25-year-old Manika Batra shot to fame by winning 2 gold medals at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. Her bronze medal at the 2018 Jakarta Asian Games in the mixed doubles event with Achant Sharat Kamal was a historic one for the country. Manika had featured in her maiden Olympics in Rio in 2016. Manika was bestowed with India's highest sporting award, Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna, in August last year. Apart from the singles, Manika will also be competing in the mixed doubles at the Tokyo Games along with Sharat Kamal Achant. Manika and Sharat Kamal's splendid performance to qualify for the mixed doubles draw have made many bet on them as potential medal contenders in Tokyo. Meanwhile, Indian Olympic Association, respecting the sentiments of the people of the country, has decided that the nation's athletes would wear unbranded sports apparel in the Olympic Games. In an official statement, Indian Olympics Association President Dr. Narendra Dhruv Batra and Secretary General Rajiv Mehta said IOA has decided to withdraw existing contract with an apparel sponsor.
In the French Open men's section, 13-time champion Rafael Nadal and top-seeded Novak Djokovic will face each other in semi-final on Friday. Nadal entered his 14th French Open semi-finals with a 6-3, 4-6, 6-4, 6-0 win over Argentina's 10th seed Diego Schwartzman, while Djokovic beat heavy-hitting Italian Matteo Berrettini 6-3, 6-2, 6-7, 5-7-5 in an intense duel. Djokovic and Nadal have faced off 57 times, with Djokovic leading 29-28. But Nadal has been his nemesis at Roland Garros, winning 7 of the 8 clashes, including last year's final. Number 5 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas shattered the dreams of world number 2 Daniil Medvedev of becoming world number 1 by beating him in straight sets 6-3, 7-6, 7-3, 7-5 to enter semi-finals. Tsitsipas will now face world number 6 Alexander Zverev, who had earlier defeated Spaniard Alejandro Davidovich Fokina 6-4, 6-1, 6-1. Due to high rain alert by Indian Meteorological Department IMD in coastal districts of Maharashtra, 15 teams of National Disaster Response Force have been deployed to deal with any situation in view of incessant rains. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
After experiencing heavy downpour, waterlogging and traffic disruptions yesterday, Mumbaikars could return to their normal schedule today as the train and bus services were running according to their schedule without any disruption. The spells of heavy rain in the morning did not affect the lifelines of Mumbai as no waterlogging was reported in the city. 230 mm rain was recorded at Santa Cruz and 90 mm rain was recorded at Kulaba in the last 24 hours in Mumbai. On the other hand, all the arrangements have been made in the backdrop of the alerts of heavy rain by IMD in coastal districts of the state. NDRF teams have been deployed in Thane, Palghar, Ratnagiri, Mumbai and Sindhudurga districts. According to BMC Commissioner Iqbal Singh Chahal, BMC has made adequate arrangements to face the incessant rain. Shailesh Patil, AR News, Mumbai.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India is in a unique position to pioneer a new model of economic development of low carbon emission, says Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. Government prohibits the use of remdesivir in children with coronavirus infection. India crosses a major landmark with the administration of over 24 crore COVID vaccine doses. 1,51,000 COVID patients recover in the last 24 hours. National recovery rate further improves to 94.77%. More than 94,000 new COVID cases recorded nationwide, the lowest in over 2 months. Centre advises states and union territories to obtain permission of the Health Ministry before sharing the e-win data and analytics related to vaccines, stocks and temperature. UPSC announces that the interview for Civil Services Main Examination 2020 will resume on the 2nd of August. President and Prime Minister express grief of the demise of eminent Bengali filmmaker Buddhadev Dasgupta and boxer Dingo Singh. And with that we end the Midday News.